Hey, everybody, it's Coach Jeff, and welcome to our next lesson on leadership, guiding with purpose and integrity. So, we always like to start these with a Bible verse. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Okay, main topics. What is leadership? Characteristics of a leader, the three pillars of leadership, application, and leadership in action. All right, let's get started. I've just jumped right in. So, the objective today, and this is what's most important, is we can share the main topics of what we're going to cover. But if we don't lay out the objective, and this is a prime example of leadership, is you have to set a vision, set an objective. So that way, the people that are following and listening to you understand where you're headed with this and what they can be looking for. So, our objective today is explore leadership as a calling to serve others through faith, purpose, and action. And through this workshop or this lesson, I'm going to share specific things through each of those three. So the first, what is leadership? Definition of is leadership is influence, not a title. It's about inspiring others towards a shared vision and values. So biblical example is Jesus as a servant leader, and there is no better example of anything in all of history than Jesus, specifically as a servant leader of how he lived, how he led, and how he communicated through love, grace, and also a firm hand. So he wanted to create corrective action that would save people and protect people. Even though it may be difficult at the time, that was something that he did. All of those elements are part of leadership. So the big thing is shared vision and values. And we're going to talk to that in later slides around the importance of setting that vision and also understanding and sharing your own personal value. So, leadership is an opportunity to reflect God's love and purpose through our actions and decisions. And just like I mentioned in the slide previous, Jesus was the perfect example for that. That even when he was facing tremendous adversity, getting ready to be hung on the cross, what did he do? He washed the disciples' feet. He continued to serve others and set such an amazing example that we can all, and actually all should, follow. So, characteristics of a leader, we're going to break down the four of these, and they are integrity, humility, courage, and vision. And what you'll see is as we go through this lesson, that there's plenty of suggestions. If you don't know what your own personal values are, these four characteristics of a leader could be your values, as well as when we touch on the three pillars of leadership. So keep that in mind as we're going through. So, first, integrity. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely. Proverbs 10:9. You have to align your actions with core values and faith principles. So, what that means is if you don't know what your own personal values are and you don't know what your principles are, it's very difficult to really say that you have absolute integrity. Some people look at integrity as moral fiber. Are you doing what's right? Which is 100% true. You also need to take it a step further and define integrity based on your own personal values in the example that you want to set to others. Humility. This one can be difficult for a lot of people. So God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. James 4:6. Serve others without seeking recognition. Can you do things in the shadows to help others, knowing that you will never be noticed? That's the sign of a true leader. It's also very difficult. So think through that as could you do something for someone else and could you help others without ever posting it on social media, calling your friend, sending something? Could you make a donation anonymously or do you always want to be recognized? Like I said, this is tough. This is a very difficult one to think through as just me personally. So next, courage. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Joshua 1:9. Stand firm in faith even during adversity. So courage is bravery when you're scared. So I know fear comes in to play in a lot of elements of life, and it doesn't have to be physical fear, meaning that you're afraid of physical harm. There's a lot of fear of judgment, fear of just what are other people going to think, which is judgment. So courage could be is I'm going to set the example. I'm going to do something that may not be the most popular choice by others, but it's the right choice. It aligns with my values and my principles. And so I'm going to continue to be courageous and live that way. And then vision. Write the vision, make it plain on tablets so he may run who reads it. Habakkuk 2:2. So cast a clear and compelling vision for yourself and your team. So this is critical if you have a title of a leader. So the corporate title of leader, if it's on your team, if it's in work, if it as a family, if you're a parent or a coach, make sure that other people know your vision, but you got to know your vision for yourself and for the others. If you're leading a team, you've got to have a good idea of what that is. Write it down, be clear, be specific, and share that so other people aren't surprised when they're not following or they're not in alignment with your vision. So take a few minutes to think through what I shared. So if you need to hit pause, I would encourage you to hit pause, go back, look at those 4 characteristics of a leader, dig in, and really do a good self audit of where you feel like you are in each of those. Which one are you strongest in, and which one do you need the most work in? All right, the 3 pillars of leadership. Those are faith, that's trusting in God's plan. So pray for guidance and wisdom in your decision. Service, putting others first. Lead by example, prioritize your team and community. Accountability, staying true to your commitments, hold yourself and others accountable in love and grace. So these 3, again, it's faith, service, and accountability. So, which pillar, just like we talked about with characteristics of leadership, which pillar do you need to work on the most? So, take a few minutes. This is where it's important to have paper, write things down. And if you go back and look at it, great. But just the physical act of writing which of these that you need to work on down will really help you focus on that and work towards being better in one of those 3 pillars. Application. So, again, these lessons that we're sharing are great, but if you don't apply them, it's really useless for you. It's going to be helpful and hopefully one day that you can apply them. But we want to boil this down to make it easy to where you can do something as soon as this lesson is over, you can move on and do something today. So, student athletes, model leadership on and off the field, build resilience by relying on faith in challenging moments. Think of those moments that are difficult. May it be standing up for what's right, standing up for your values, standing up for your principles? Is it pushing 100% in practice when other people are cutting corners? So think about how you can lead by example. Not that you're pointing fingers and, well, you could call somebody out, but really just think about how can you lead by example on and off the field, the classroom. Are you doing all the things that you need to do in order to get the grades that you need, but also to set a good example to other people in the team? Parents, all right, this is me too. So lead your family with faith and compassion. Be role models of grace under pressure. Are you able to calmly and with limited emotion challenge your family? Can you challenge your children, your spouse to do the things that they need to do based on the vision that has been cast, as well as the values and principles that you have for your family? Coaches, inspire players with your actions and spiritual grounding. That one goes to parents as well. So foster a culture of character, teamwork, and faith. And these 2, parents and coaches, just as a reminder, I know that you know this, but your young people, they are watching everything that you're doing, and they don't buy into the do as I say, don't do as I do. They will do as you do. So, are you committed? Are you cutting corners? Are you setting the example, parents, of training and watching what you eat and doing the things that you're hounding your young people to do? I know one, I'll call myself out. It's stretching. We preach ad nauseum to our kids about the importance of stretching, just like when you're watching TV. But guess who doesn't do it? That would be me. And so that's a commitment that I'm changing and I'm working on it because I know I need to do it. And if I can set the example, then my young people don't have any excuse to not do what I'm asking them to do because I'm doing it as well. So, reflection questions. So, what core values guide your leadership? How can you serve your team, family, or community better? And how does your faith influence your leadership decisions? So, these are three questions that you can apply that we're going to ask you to apply today. So, think about what core values guide your leadership. Where are they? Is it the ones that we shared in this lesson? Do you have your own? I would hope that you have your own and you just have never really defined them for yourself. So take this opportunity to define them, write them down. I have a whiteboard right over here that I put all of my values on. So hopefully, if people see it, they won't be surprised that it's there. But sometimes I've got to remind myself what my values are. How can you serve your team, family, or community better? Think of one thing that you can do today to do that. And then how does your faith influence your leadership decisions? So, challenge, just like we talked about, set one faith centered leadership goal this week. An example is pray before team practice or family gatherings and seek God's guidance in specific leadership challenge. So, this is one that I would challenge you with. It's either pray before games, pray after games, just do something that is faith centered, that is courageous to be bold and to do something that may not be the most popular thing on the team. Conclusion: faith based leadership is about serving others, staying rooted in God's purpose, and inspiring those around you to reach their potential. You can do it. Be the example. Share what it's like to have values, have principles, and the integrity to live with them, the courage to live with them, and the faith that God is putting you on the right path to lead your friends and your teammates well. So commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established. Proverbs 16:3. If we can help in any way, please reach out. We are grateful that you're here and that you sat through this lesson. So if you have any questions, let us know. Have a great day.